Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. The players, the baseball, they met again. They chatted. We'll discuss it. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball, brought to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. Coming to you from California is Trevor Plouffe, and behind the dish is producer BBD. And right off the rip, I think we did it last week, but yes, presented by SeatGeek, new presenting sponsor for the company. Very excited about it. SeatGeek, Sneaky were a huge part of our 2019, Trev, just to let you know. We didn't have an affiliated code set up, but people that were watching the breakdowns just were trying John Boy at SeatGeek. But it didn't exist, but we were getting money from it because then it did exist. But I didn't do it. It was just because the people were doing it so much. SeatGeek was like, all right, cool. So that was wild, but now fully on board. SeatGeek, super easy to use, and you can get $20 off your tickets at SeatGeek if you use code Talkin. $20 off your first purchase with promo code Talkin. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app. If you're super dumb like me, it's great because it's they put good deals in green and bad deals in red, so it's very much like a stop and a go situation. Like, stop, don't buy that. There's better deals.
Green, good. Red, not good.
Yeah. Red, stop. So, SeatGeek. Use code Talkin for $20 off your first order. SeatGeek. Okay, now I will throw it to Trevor, who's celebrating his best friend going to the Super Bowl.
I feel like I'm part of it a little bit. I don't know. Even though I'm absolutely not at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of conflicted, but I'm very excited. What a game again. The NFL playoffs have just been incredible. Like, they're showing up right now. Even with a weird Super Bowl, I think Rams-Bengals is kind of strange, but you got the quarterbacks. That's good. Yeah, but congrats to the Rams. Took care of business last night. I told Jake I had a big night, but an early night. I didn't go out afterwards. After traveling back and forth cross country a couple times last week, I'm a homebody right now. I need to just chill. So we watched the game in the neighborhood, and I just celebrated quietly and went to bed, man. Here I am, ready to talk some ball. We have some news, not really news going on in baseball.
It's jam-packed. We got a lot of news.
Jake, I asked you this question. You never answered me.
Mm-hmm.
One, how are you? And two, why do you look like that today? I don't get it.
Trev comes with his futuristic glasses and his bandwagon Rams hat. Started the season as a Seahawks guy. Trev, Jom, King BBD, everyone in chat. Hope you had a nice weekend. Like Trev, good for the football. Good. Have your fun now, because guess what? They only got one more game, baby. And then it's baseball. Wow, BBD on the soundboard there. Baseball.
Oh my God.
So excited for that. I know we have actual CBA updates, which I'm pretty excited for, being the number one CBA labor pod in the world. We're continuing to make really slow, handshaking, friendly progress, so I like that. And Trev, I'm sorry you're a little jealous of this, kind of preppy goatee combo, but it's this is what it do, baby.
Is that better for you?
You look okay. I think if we had to rank everyone's look, it'd be BBD 1, me and John Boy tied for 1, and you last.
Okay.
I think.
1A, tied 1B.
Jimmy has the whole what's the guy from Apple again? Not alive anymore.
Steve Jobs?
Yeah, man.
You got the whole Steve Jobs things going with the decision fatigue sweatshirt.
Yeah, did
Love
does Jobs do that? Zuckerberg did that, and so does someone else.
You guys are all the same kind of person.
I ate an apple for breakfast, so it was interesting that you said that. Steve Jobs only ate fruit, smelled terrible. His employees didn't like being in the same room as him. So maybe we are similar.
Maybe I was going to say. Maybe we've all got a little Steve Jobs in us.
Okay, let's get out of here.
You want to abandon that conversation and move to a
No.
different one? Because we do have updates from the meeting, which is what people want to hear about. So I'm going to start it. Are you ready?
Yes.
They met twice last week.
Huge.
MLBPA took 10 days. They responded. They put together, this is what we want. MLB, I guess, moved quick and swiftly because the ball's already back in MLBPA's hands. Like, it happened so quick.
Yeah.
So,
It's in the city, too. Like, should we swing through?
That's what I'm saying. You guys need to swing through. And by the way, is there really a meeting today?
I don't know. But that's
Because
I like that MLB responded so fast.
there was reports there was going to be another meeting today. And then I see Chris Dahl, who's the head of the Players Association Communications, whatever that is. And he said that's 100% inaccurate. So where are we? Chris Dahl, you guys are familiar with him. He's yelled at us before, just like everybody yells at us all the time now. But he said it's 100% inaccurate. So what? I don't.
Chris Dahl yelled at us.
Well, he yelled at me.
Okay.
He yelled at me on behalf of us.
Why? Because what I said?
Yes. Yeah, but it's all right. We straightened things out. I basically yelled right back at him, so we're good.
Tell them that I think they should not take 10 days. And that's my only critique right now.
Okay.
Sorry, Chris Dahl. Not sorry.
All right, so there's some tangible stuff we got. If anyone wants to know my meter of optimism, pessimism, it's pessimism. We're just really close.
Dang it.
Yeah. I think I'm doing Mondays pessimistic, Wednesdays out. Not by design. It's just naturally how I like.
I think it was flipped last week.
It was flipped last week?
It was flipped last week.
All right.
Damn.
Well, they're still not talking about the stuff that's the biggest things to talk about. And what they're doing is bad. And MLBPA and MLB both agreed to something here that's just dumb. They agreed to accept parameters of pre-arb bonus pool so the top 30 players eligible or not or eligible for arbitration determined by WAR. So it's been Super 2, which means, if you're 2%, the Super 2 is super confusing. But there was a system basically that you advanced out of your service time to like the next year, so you would reach free agency quicker if you were in like the top 2% of the 2-arb eligibility or whatever the hell it was, right?
Well, it didn't get you to free agency quicker. It just got you paid for that year. So it's like the top 15% of service time guys with under 3 years, they'd enter essentially a fourth year, a year early in arbitration.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't get to free agency faster. You would just get into the arbitration system faster, and you do 4 years. I was a Super 2 guy.
Let's go.
Hell yeah. That's
What's
I mean,
awesome.
it's not not that it's not good or bad, really. I don't.
It's
you
good.
know.
Super
Good, Trev.
2
Fuck.
ploof.
Who was your Super 2 buddy when you were Super 2?
That's actually a great name for it. Like, it does sound like I did something like awesome. Like, I was a Super 2, but really
Top
it's,
2% of the eligible players.
No,
It's like top 15.
Whatever it is.
20%.
Well, anyway, they want to, and dude, we've talked to some players who were like against this, so I'm shocked that they're agreeing on it now. But they're going to use WAR. What WAR? Fangraphs? Baseball Reference? WAR can be good, but like to determine salary, I love what the guy, it's a weird way, he has a name.
The guy.
Sean Foreman, who invented Baseball Reference.
Just followed him on Twitter.
Did a whole thread on this, on why this is so stupid and scary. And he's like, I mean, did you see this yet, Trev? Did you see everything he said about it? I'll read it, then I'll throw it to you guys for thoughts, just to give everyone complete in the loop of what's happening. So the Sean Foreman, who invented baseball, referenced who they have a WAR. Fangraphs also has a WAR. He said, there are a couple reasons why I don't like this idea. Occasionally, mistakes are uncovered and we recalculate WAR. So he's like, you could be earning millions or losing millions based on a mistake. 2, new rules like extra innings, base runner, no NLDH force us to reformulate things. 3, our data provider, like BIS, recalculates historical DRS with better values. If you've listened to me and Jake talk about defensive analytics for the last 2 years, they change every year. And then you backtrack how good a guy was 3 years ago based on the new formula they invented. Like, how good was Didi Gregorius in 2018? Don't know. I'll find out in 2027 when they update it again based on the analytics. It's just not, defensive analytics are just not a good thing you can actually stand by. The park factors change due to more info for Y+1, or we decide to change how positional adjustments are calculated to handle modern usage. Something unexpected happens, like no starting pitcher ever goes 5 innings again, and we adjust factors. Because of the above, I'm not really interested in our WAR, and I doubt the other sites are either, being used to assign millions of dollar salaries to players, whatever. Are the sites getting paid for this? This is a good question he has. Maybe MLB is all in on Fangraphs WAR, and if so, best of luck. And the thought was that they would do this and then just buy Fangraphs and then just like have the ability to make sure it's the same thing they did with Rawlings. But yeah, it's super scary because also WAR for a pitcher it's not real. If you're Lance Lynn, who has and you got a really good defense behind you, so you just pitch to contact, your WAR is going to be worse.
There's a lot of issues with it. Pitchers, DHs, and we just saw David Ortiz get put in the Hall of Fame. If you look at his WAR, it's not up to standard really, but it's because he's a DH. So, those guys get beat down, but if the PA is wanting this and it looks like they're seeking $105 million in like the bonus pool, maybe they did calculations and like, if we do this, we can get more money to these guys. And maybe I don't know, because is it going to be used as a benchmark for arbitration? Like whatever salary these guys earn or the bonuses they earn, is that going to be their floor for arbitration? Because that's kind of what you do. Like you go off what your previous year was.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we need to figure out about this. But yeah, I mean, the two sides agreed to parameters, but look at these parameters, dude. 105 million MLB PA seeking, and MLB is like, I got 10 for you.
Yeah,
I'll give you less than 10% of what
I don't even understand how that is considered agreed upon.
Hey, we're only 90,
they agreed upon the concept.
The concept, not the amount
Yeah.
of money. So they're only $95 million off. So that's not a problem.
More info here. The union proposed using an average of B-WAR and F-WAR.
Yeah, so Erica, who helped us with our research and is now in the chat, they suggested average of B-WAR, F-WAR, MLB countered with F-WAR because they're obviously in on that. And then Marshall McAllister said J-WAR in the chat, which I agree with, and we're working on feverishly.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Ferociously.
Featherly.
We're ferocious and we have a fever, and we're working on J-WAR, and we're going to run it down.
And feathers.
To where they're talking about
I'd like
this.
feathers to get involved.
Yeah, man. I mean, WAR is a moving target. I mean, that's our guy, Sean Foreman, my most recent Twitter follow. That's his main takeaway. This is a moving target. Every year, it's evolving. And if they're one step behind or if they miss something that you could take money out of a guy's pocket, I wouldn't want to live with that. And that's kind of what Sean Foreman said. So I don't know. I mean, it's tough to find the answer because when, we're talking arbitration, which, it'd be kind of hilarious if someone said, hey, maybe is arbitration one of the worst things we do in sports in general? Have a team tell their player how bad they are. It would be cool if we could reset that. Doesn't seem like that's happening. And yeah, I don't know where your solution lies. I mean, do you just do fully open cases? I mean, then you'd need what? Arbiters that are super well versed in baseball. Trevor Plouffe, the arbiter. So if someone comes in and says, I've played 7 positions and, these metrics are good for me and I did hit 22 doubles, and then the team comes back and says, well, your OPS with runners in scoring position was only 696. I don't know. I don't know where you land, but yeah, I mean, it's, how I feel like every year there's a list that comes out that's players' wars that didn't feel right or whose war is off. And then the next offseason you see like, oh, we just updated our defensive war metrics. It had Matt Chapman rate out poorly. Now he rates out one of the best in the league. So what are we going to do then? Does Matt Chapman get repaid now that they updated the numbers and he looks better? Don't think they factored that in yet. But besides this $95 million, handshake. Done.
Yeah, that's why I don't even understand, like, we agreed on the parameters of this. What? I hope not. But what does that even mean? I think they agreed to table the discussion.
Maybe they're like, let's just chum the water with this agreement just give it to the fans out there for a little bit of optimism and hope. But really, because now that we're really digging into this, it seems kind of ridiculous.
And we, had asked guys about it, or it got brought up to our attention before this was like public that this was something they wanted to do, and it was told how dumb it was.
I mean, hey, we've agreed on the parameters of a pre-arbitration bonus pool for top 30 players.
So is that the top 30 players should get a bonus? Is instead of like it being a roving percent, is that the actual tangible difference here? They just don't know how much money or what's going to calculate it.
Yes.
So there's something tangible.
It's basically like saying, hey, I'd like to take this job. Could you guys offer me $105,000 per year? And they say, we'd love you to take the job, but instead of $105,000, we'd like to offer you $10,000. And that'd be a tough handshake for me. I know I showed the handshaking before. I'd be a little hesitant of that. But they've agreed good players should get paid a little bit more.
I mean, that's an obvious, like, obviously the owners are into that. Like, sure, if you're good, we'll pay you. But we don't want any, if you suck, we'll just pay nothing. But the only way this makes sense, in my opinion, for the PA is if we really get started on this minimum salary raise. And right now it kind of brings us like to our next point. They offered to raise the salary to the minimum salary, to $615K, and the MLBPA is asking for $775. If we're getting guys paid, rookies, pre-arb guys paid a little bit more, then I could say, all right, let's take those 30 guys. Let's do the bonus pool. How we get there and what number it's going to be, obviously that still needs to be ironed out. But then the bigger picture starts to make sense. I think that's kind of where we're going here with some of the things that we've agreed upon, is that all together it makes sense. And we just got to find those numbers. But 615 ain't going to cut it.
Yeah, and a really good note by Erica in our notes here is the league offer, the 615K. If you had just prorated the 2016 through 2021 CBA, then this would be a step backwards. It would be 650K if they just kept rolling at the rate of inflation. But instead, they've gone back. So, yeah, MLB offers to raise the minimum. That's a good MLB headline. But in the scope of things, it feels like a step backwards.
This will get done. I think this is an easy give from MLB. I think they know, like, if you just look at the numbers, like you just said, they know that, they've been behind on that. It's the lowest minimum salary event in the 4 major league sports, and more people make it in this sport than any other sport. So it's, I think this is a no-brainer, and this will get done. It will get raised to very close to what the PA wants. And it should. I mean, it's time.
Yeah. The fight here is, what I think the biggest fight everyone's saying is that the CBA or the union is trying to make up for the lost ground that they signed last contract. And MLB is trying to still have that punish them on this contract. Like, just because we got the better of you last time doesn't mean we need to right that wrong this time. We'll just get better now. But the MLBPA wants them to not only correct where they were, went wrong last time, but then also double it. So that they're trying to, the union is trying to advance 2 CBAs basically, because the last one was they did a poor job, or the owners manipulated it after the fact, and the MLB is like, no, we're just going to go up 1 step. So you're still always going to be 1 CBA behind. That's why they're offering, because they're basing their calculation not on inflation, but just on improving from the last one in 2016 or whenever it was. I mean, so like, it seems like until one side just says, okay, fine.
I mean,
it's never going to happen.
If they want to pay, and we keep going back to money because obviously that's kind of what this is all about. If they want to pay people their fair market value, they need to take like 15 steps forward. So like they have it so good now, you'd expect MLB to give a little bit more, understanding that, what they have and how valuable it is. I think eventually they will. All of this will get figured out. I believe that MLB knows that, but they're using the time against the players right now. Everyone wants to get to spring training. We got a bunch of free agents that haven't signed. A bunch of guys want to get their housing. They don't know when to, call the realtor and say, hey, let me get my house for spring training. And then for the season, all these decisions have to be made. MLB knows that. And when you force, the time issue against the PA, it really works in their favor. And I think they're trying to exploit that, especially with the free agents. I think that's a big thing here. Guys are waiting. They have no idea where they're going to play. Pitchers and catchers are supposed to report in what? Less than 3 weeks, like 16, 17 days from now. We don't even have anywhere close to an agreement. It's interesting.
The minimum salary for me, I mean, that feels like a piece that the owners play at the end, because that's just a touch point for literally every player. Like Trev, as you just mentioned, that top 30 thing, that's kind of rare air. That's going to be guys that are really good, really early on in their career. You're not hitting a majority of the pot here. When MLB comes back and finally counters, whether it's 2 iterations from now or 3, and they come back and they say, hey guys, we're raising the minimum salary for every player that enters the league. I think that's a chip that the owners play when this thing is getting close, that they try to close it and get the extra votes they need from the player side, because you just hit everyone with one swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't even talked about, service time. So how could we be close, Like you said, Trev, it doesn't even seem like they're close at all.
But I don't think they're going to move on service time. It sounds like they've said no, like the free agency is going to stay the same. And I don't know if the players have anything to give to get them off that.
That stinks.
So,
do you think there's going to be big changes here? Do you think there's a way that everything that MLB, that the players and the public has been asking for forever, there's going to be any changes?
I'm not sure. And to be honest with you, I feel like I was more privy to information back in the COVID negotiations. Everyone's playing it pretty tight to the vest right now. Yeah, and that's exactly what you wanted. And I'm talking to players, and we're talking about things, but the information that was readily available to like almost everyone in 2020 is not the same. Like they're really trying to keep this in house, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that makes the sport look a lot better. Even though, how bad can you look right now?
They're not even looking. It's just like, it's just underground. No one cares. But who cares? Wait till after the Super Bowl. Announce.
Yeah, let football play it out. I mean, the shitty thing is if you do that and we're waiting, it's just the guys that have to get ready. I know it seems like whining about something, but it really is hard to set your whole life up without knowing where you're going to go. It's really shitty.
If they don't change the service time and the arbitration, and it's still 6 years of control after you debut or whatever, where are the wins then?
Well, that's kind of the thing, and that's where, if that's where the owners are, and they kind of like what we're saying, the 6 years of service time control is kind of like the nuke. They hold that, and like Trevor was saying, you are getting immense values for players in those first 6 years. That's kind of, if that's their stranglehold, they're just not letting go on that, then we're looking at, increasing the competitive balance, which, again, has been used as a luxury cap instead of a tax, more or less. Some of the tanking stuff we've talked about, the player minimum salary, obviously DH and stuff coming into play. But, yeah, I mean, it would just be checking kind of all those other boxes, which, yes, there's the negative light there of, that's kind of the one thing the players would love to change. But if that's not even on the table and they can chip away at everything else, I'm not saying you pocket that as your win, but maybe as a baseball fan, that can be the win where you say, well, that's where shit gets really complicated. If we've got to change service time in those, first 3 years and those next 3 years, that's where, and maybe this is where, like you said, time, Trev, this is where the owners might have won the war there. If we're not changing that system, there isn't a ton on the table to be changed. And I think the players can go and try to get all of those smaller wins in minimum salary, raising the fake salary cap. But I guess expanded playoffs, have we heard anything about that in a little bit? Because that's the owner's big win. So I don't know.
That's the player's chip. I agree with you. I think that what we're going to see out of this eventually, and again, like, this is not me speaking on behalf of the PA, but in my mind, going, seeing these situations, having been part of it in 2016, I feel like the competitive balance tax has to be raised to, something, I mean, honestly, much higher than it is. Like, we are seeing teams use it as the soft cap. It just needs to be raised. I think that would be a big win for the players, even though, like, it should have already happened because it was overlooked really in 2016. They need to do that. And then, yeah, taking care of guys earlier in their careers, as more and more guys are pre-arb dudes on these rosters. Like, you gotta, if you grind your way to the top of your profession, you got to be compensated better. And I think we'll get that. I think owners are going to do that. But the 6 years, the control that they have, I don't think that's going anywhere. I just don't think there's enough chips the players don't have enough chips to change that right now. And maybe it changes next CBA, but I don't know, man. Unless they got something I don't know about. But
here's something,
playoffs is really it.
Here's something you don't know about. DraftKings may or may not have the over-under on when this gets signed. That'd be hilarious. I don't think the DraftKings has this bad. I haven't checked. But if DraftKings, if you went to the baseball section on the app, downloaded it, used promo code JohnBoy, downloaded the DraftKings app, and the baseball section was just, will the season start on time? Over, under, whatever, just yes or no. The only bet on DraftKings. They should do that. Can they not legally do that? Probably not. Well, they should do that. And if you wanted to bet on it, you could. You can also bet $5 on the Bengals or the Rams to win Super Bowl 56, and you get 56-1 odds, 280 in free bets if you get it right. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in New York. Jake and I did a little battle royale last night on the live stream. They gave us $500 each. Said, have some fun. See who comes out the victor. I believe Jake did. I fat-thumbed my biggest bet at the end.
Oops.
Ooh. What'd you make, Jakey boy?
Cautionary tale.
85 American dollars.
Ooh.
Whoops. Show dinner.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code JohnBoy. Get 56-1 odds on either team. It is DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the Super Bowl 56. 21 plus. Minimum age and location requirements vary by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full list of requirements and state-specific responsible gaming resources. Void where prohibited. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in Tennessee. Tennessee, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Tennessee, call or text the TN Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. If they give me that again, I'm going to Minko the fuck out of it.
You're gonna. And if
I'm going to dominate that.
if you're ever lonely or looking
That
for a
was a tough
bet,
one.
DM BBD.
Give me another chance, DraftKings, at that disclaimer, because I'm going to Minko it.
Get all up in your business.
Can I ask a question here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think when we do, because it's obviously coming, like my DraftKings World Series bet,
Right.
it's going to be a massive success, right?
Yeah.
Anyone that doesn't bet it
Yeah.
is a fool, because everyone should at least put $5 on it, because if it hits,
Everybody.
you win what? $1 million probably.
Yeah. Right now at
I don't
DraftKings.
know what what odds they can give on a type of bet like that, but we'll make sure it's very favorable to the people.
Right now at DraftKings, you can bet on the winner. You can bet on league winners, and you can bet on division winners, as well as home run leader and wins leaders. Right now, the favorite, Vlad Guerrero Jr.
As a home run leader.
Yeah.
I already have a team in my head that's like a favorite. But again, peeps, we got to go through TPPs. Like,
Yeah.
this is not like I just make a freaking guess. I'm not one of those dudes that just put shit out there. It was an educated guess.
I think when you make your World Series prediction guess, obviously you're going to be wearing a hat that looks like a giant brain. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
I think it's from Boy Meets World. And then it'll be like a 3-hour live stream. And the first 2 hours and 58 minutes are going to be all just, preamble. Jake
Yeah.
will give some speeches.
Hmm.
We will, there will be a PIP shot of you the whole time, Trev. Kind of like the Manziel cam when he was in football, wherever you're going. But, we'll hear from Rose. We'll hear from everyone else. So it'll be kind of a pre-show. Oh, what do you think his prediction will be?
I have us also watching other famous speeches, like
To get pumped.
Pacino,
Yes, to get excited.
Denzel.
Yeah.
I have us recreating a couple movie scenes as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have it as us like recreating the decision while Trev makes his decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes. And then
There'll be kids around.
Yeah. And
I
then
should be in New York, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
Boys
through.
and Girls Club.
Well, when did you make yours? Because you probably be here for opening day. If you
I think it
wanted
was
to-
the night before.
the night
opening
before
day.
I
opening
made
day.
it. I made that prediction at
Yeah.
the airport, headed to you guys for opening day.
Okay. So just make it here the
Yeah.
night before opening day. And we'll do the 3-hour live stream where the last 2 minutes we'll have your prediction. You just say it, and then we do like a really bad bomb graphic, and then that's the end of the stream.
As long as Bill doesn't mess my flight up again. all I'm
Ho!
saying.
Shots fired. BTS. Hey, Jim, tell me if you've heard this before.
Okay.
One of the reasons I love podcasting is stumbling into something.
Yeah.
The one thing we know the owners want is expanded playoffs.
Mm.
Well, like us personally, no.
I think that's pretty. Like, we know that, but that's also out there.
But someone else could say the one thing I know they want, and it would be something else, maybe.
Would you say the biggest thing the owners want is expanded playoffs?
No, I would say it's to keep the 6 years.
Yeah, just like be the same.
Well, I guess
The
Run it
new
back.
something changing, something new. The biggest thing they'd want, because they
Yeah.
already have that.
Yes. Yes. So something out of new things, I would say that they want
Yes.
expanded playoffs.
I don't know, like determining a worth off the award that they own might be. They're interested in that.
Not a bad spin. And the the biggest thing the players want is to change the ARB system and hit free agency earlier, and both sides currently have kept those off the table. So maybe that's where the fireworks fly. Let's do it.
All right.
Week between the Super Bowl. Let's get ugly.
I hope they're planning like a real announcement. Like they're like, you know what? Like
They are not.
we can do this, guys. Like we can. I know they're not. They're just not.
Matt
I
Stafford.
can dream about it.
He's
Yeah,
holding.
me and him.
He's holding the MVP trophy. He's got tears in his eyes. He's pointing in the stands. He says, "You." Trevor Plouffe announces with Matt Stafford that baseball's back.
I light up the fattest joint.
Shout
I got
out.
the Lombardi Trophy in one hand,
Yep.
a banger in the other hand, and I say baseball's back. Kershaw to the Rangers, and everyone boos me out of the stadium.
Wow.
Well, and Stafford probably announces Kershaw. And I'm going to bring in my best friend from my neighborhood here because we got some good baseball news. And then he hands the mic to you, and you say, baseball's back. And he says, and I'm going to bring out my best friend. And he's got some news. And Kershaw's going to say, I retire. Fuck this sport. It's a good and bad look.
So rich.
Yeah. Did we have other stuff on the thing? I believe we did. There was other stuff to talk about. Like it's Nolan Ryan's 75th birthday.
It's pretty big.
Yeah. Farm to Fame reports that the Dodgers have signed the first 2 Ugandan baseball players in MLB history.
Yeah.
I love this.
How'd that happen? I'm super interested. Umar Male? Is it Mali?
I'm not sure. Ben Sarunkama.
That's cool.
Pretty cool.
I am all in on like scouts like going to places that haven't been scouted before. Like I love like when they did the $1 million arm thing in India. Like there's so many people out there. You figure, hey, we can get some talent, bring it to the sport. Let's make this the worldly game. And all throughout Europe, there's just I don't know if there's enough baseball out there in places, and it's hard to start it up.
Well, there's no more wars or missions, you know?
Yeah, it's not an easy game to just teach. You need kind of a lot of things and a lot of players. And maybe that's why soccer is the world sport, because you just need a ball to kick around.
They don't know what positions these guys play. So I think maybe they just said, yeah, you're athletic.
Say the same about me.
Yeah.
Was there an academy or something? Like,
yeah,
how did this come about?
They're sending them to the Dodgers Academy in the DR. Which,
yeah,
but
there's no news on how they found them that I can find quickly.
We talk about, Trev, you were drafted out of high school. No big deal. And, man, we talk about some of these young minor league guys. Peter Moylan, when he came over, got himself into some funny business. I can't imagine these guys going from Uganda to the Dominican Republic to play baseball, which they might not have a position.
They don't know what position they play.
I mean, how do you not root for these guys? Like, this is awesome, dude. Like, put yourself in their shoes a little bit. It really is. Like, you're going to this crazy new experience in a crazy new place. And how old are they? They can't be. They got to be young, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would guess they're like 16, 17.
It's wild, man. I think we should get behind these guys big time.
Get some jerseys.
Uganda is number 43 in the world baseball rankings.
So there's got to be some academies there. Obviously, they're playing some ball down in Uganda.
Why does no article give that information? I just read 3, and it seems like that should be something that you read. Like, they saw them play here, and that's why they got signed. And I just, can't find
what's
that.
Interesting about this is you kind of got to flip it. Like when I played Team USA, we went to Germany, went to Italy, and you kind of see these like baseball operations that are going on in these countries. And baseball is not like a very popular sport in Italy or in Germany, but there's some people that like it, and there's some leagues out there, like especially in Italy, there's like an Italian baseball league. I'm trying to think, like in the States, like what sport Like what would equate to that in the States? Is that like a lacrosse? Is it something like more obscure than that?
Interesting.
Okay, I found all the info. Both Sirakuma, a right-handed pitcher, and Male, a catcher, have been in baseball since 2012, previously represented Ugandan national team in 2019 for the East African qualifiers in Kenya, as well as RBI International Tournament in Vero Beach, Florida. So they've played baseball in the U.S. already. Their coach, who also got signed by the Dodgers to kind of be their Sherpa, will coach at the LA Dodgers Academy. He previously represented Uganda at the 2015 Little League World Series in Williamsport. Awesome. Glad that article had all the information I was looking for. That's cool.
What's the article? Give him a shout out.
The Sports Nation.
Huge.
And the writer was, well, forgive my bad pronunciation, Kataka Abel. Awe Ensanga.
I feel like you nailed that.
Yeah.
100.
Of course I did.
The chat is saying like equating it to rugby, which I could see. But rugby's kind of played everywhere now. Intramural rugby.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think
People that play rugby are fucking nuts, dude. What are you guys
Seven's
doing?
got popular, right?
Bino. I'm seeing some Binos in the chat. I think that's comparable.
Cool. Congrats to them.
It's huge.
Hopefully baseball gets unlocked out. They got a 10K signing bonus. Wow.
I'm Roman ready for these boys to make it.
I hope they are. They probably don't need it. They don't fall. They don't fall in the
right there.
They don't.
They're young.
I'm Roman ready for
They're
these
powerful.
boys to make it. Is what Jake said.
Nice, young, healthy dicks.
With ED treatments, you can have the self-assurance that comes from knowing you've prepared yourself for the moment when the moment comes. Pick up your phone or laptop and complete a free online visit with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. Roman offers 5 prescription treatments, including the brand and generic version of the most common ED medications. Getting started is simple. Just go to getroman.com/talkin and complete an online visit. That's getroman.com/talkin. All right?
I had a dream that might be relatable to this a little bit. I dreamed I came up to the plate, bases loaded.
Yeah.
And I look at my bat, and it was just a limp pool noodle. And I just wasn't confident. I got out. And then I came up later in the game, and I said, I don't want a limp pool noodle. I want a firm piece of wood to drive one.
Yep. And then what happened?
Woke up.
Oh.
Woke up on the couch.
Noodle on your lap.
I mean, I feel like that's
Go get Roman.
You need that for any situation. Even like if you go to an Italian spot that's really known for their pasta, they're not serving that all like floppy. Like al dente is the way you want it. Like a little hard there, right?
Tough.
It's bottom line.
Next week, if we don't get an update, let's do a draft or another interview or something because I'm depressed.
Can the chat tell us someone you want us to interview? Let me put my contacts to work. My gosh, I need to be worked here.
The chat can get us interviews if they want. All they need to do is just go comment on someone's Instagram, go on Talking Baseball.
Anyone will come on our show.
I mean, just the chat should agree. Yeah, why wouldn't they come on here? Just bullshitting around.
Longo Web got some love. Thanks, guys.
We're the greatest baseball show ever created.
The original Home Run Derby show was pretty cool for its time. Jackie Robinson just hitting homers and sitting down at the desk. Who is it? Mel Allen doing play-by-play? I don't know. That was a good show, though.
Okay. Top baseball shows ever is what we're doing.
Ooh, Rock and Jock Celebrity softball was good. Shoot.
The Celebrity All-Star Game, softball All-Star Game used to be good. I think I graduated out of that.
You've never seen me more interested for like 5 minutes than the start of the celebrity softball game.
Yes.
And then it's like,
Well, they've
oh,
completely lost me now. But when Kenny Mayne used to be mic'd up, it's hilarious.
Kenny Mainsky.
Yeah. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
Should we try to get Shohei?
Just made the cover. MLB The Show.
I'm still working on my Japanese. I want to be able to interview him properly.
He'd bring an interpreter, or he'd have one, I believe.
We'd have the interpreter.
Get Trout. What's he doing right now?
Dude, I'm
Trouty?
I'm
Get Trout.
flipping the script on the Trout and the weather thing. I know you don't like it.
What are you talking about?
You don't like how much MLB promotes he likes the weather.
I don't like MLB taking their
doesn't promote
generational superstar and saying, let's market the fact he likes the weather.
I think that's
I love that Mike Trout loves the weather.
I think it's the only thing he tells about himself. That clip of him calling in to the weather, oh man. Like, I love being out in the elements, so we're the same. I always talk about that. If there's a blizzard or a rainstorm, I always like going outside and being like in it. But I'm not calling the fucking cable weather people.
because you don't love the weather.
I know. I don't like. I don't
Yeah,
like.
you
I've
don't
never
really
paid.
love the
I've
weather.
never paid for the Dark Skies app. I like being in the
my
weather.
gosh, I have Dark Sky.
Of course you do. It's baseball players. Every baseball player's app. That's their number one.
Do you know who also really loves the weather? Another generational talent, Joe Mauer. Absolutely obsessed with
all
the
right.
weather.
So sometimes I think about if we were to interview someone in any part of my life, like if it's a musician or whatever, I'm like, oh, if I interviewed them, I just start taking notes on my phone of what I'd ask. And so I started thinking about Trout, and I want to know what pitches perform best in what weather. That's a question I want to ask him. Like, does he have like, oh, we're facing a sinker baller today and the humidity's at 80%? We're fucked.
So muggy today.
Yeah, like, does he have combinations of like, air quality is X, and we're facing Verlander, so he's in trouble.
From what I know about Trout, it's more like C-ball, hit ball.
Yeah, well, you don't
The
know,
best
but you've
ever.
never asked about the weather. You never asked about.
Maybe that's the only thing he thinks about.
It's in
The
my note.
barometric pressure.
It's in my notepad.
How it
now.
affects the.
I throw out a
okay.
pitcher. He tells me the best weather to face that pitcher. So
Okay.
let's get Trout on here.
Joe Mauer and
You want-
Trout. Same
Is that
time.
the consensus answer? We want Trout.
He
want me to
lives
try
in
to
New
get Trout on here?
Jersey. Sometimes.
All right, I'll do it. Has he ever been interviewed? Like, I don't think I've ever seen Mike
Only
Trout be
about the
interviewed.
weather.
He didn't even get interviewed. He called in.
No, they did it at like the All-Star game. They were like, "Oh, there's weather, so we're going to Mike Trout."
Yes.
All right. Look, this is how you get Mike Trout. You tell him
I wrote
Gosh,
down
what are
another
the-
question in my notebook.
How to catch a trout.
what's the. It's not an icy machine. Is it?
Slurpee.
Not Slurpee. He likes like Hush Puppy. Is that a thing?
Isn't that like food?
I told you guys this. He bought it for the. He bought
Slurpee.
it for a locker
I
room.
think it's all the same.
Slushy.
Yeah, some kind of slushy. Loves slushies. We just got to offer him some slushies.
I do
No
love.
one has done that to him, so that's why he doesn't do interviews. If you get the guy some slushies, slush puppy, yeah. The story is that in Detroit's locker room, they have a slush puppy machine. He loved it so much that I think he bought one for himself. And that just is hilarious that the best baseball player ever possibly just loves slush puppies.
Slush puppies and weather.
It's a big Wawa fan.
And a huge loss for Slush Puppy not to like do some sort of endorsement with this guy. Like,
I don't
what
think
are
there's
you doing
puppy.
here?
Is there puppy on the end of it?
Slush puppy's doing just fine.
Isn't it just slushy?
I'm a major owner in Slush Puppy.
I would love to like find out that you're a huge owner of Slush Puppy Corporation.
My dad is actually Slush Dog, and I'm Slush Puppy.
Oh my God. If we go and invest in Slush Puppy, we basically own Mike Trout and all his decision making.
Founded in 1970, Slush Puppy, the original non-carbureted frozen beverage.
The original?
Yeah. Dude, the Slush Puppy mascot looks just like me.
Hey, how much is a slush puppy machine, do you think? Because if we get one installed here, it ups our chance of having Trout come in, right?
Just tag them. Say, we're ready. You?
Can we make a slush puppy trout T-shirt?
All right, I found
You're
one.
in.
I found one for 1,100.
How much?
1,100. $1,195.
Well, you're like Zuckerberg, so to you, it's nothing.
Well, dude, we'll just get it sponsored by Slush Puppy.
Slush Puppy with 3,700 followers on Instagram.
Jake, how is Jimmy's moat doing? Are you taking care of it?
I'll be honest with you, I've been doing a shit job.
Yeah, I fell in it
I've
yesterday.
been doing a shit job.
My dog got loose. Luckily, the moat saved her, but now we're at the ER.
It was one of those.
All your fault, Jake.
It was one of those good things. If the moat was well maintained, dog would die.
Because the alligator.
I haven't filled it with water, so it's just it's a hill.
It's snow. Well, that would be the opposite of a hill.
It's a inverted hill.
It's a moat.
It's still a hill. It's just going down.
I think it's a ditch.
Downward
Maybe
hill.
a ditch.
I'm gonna get Mike Trout on for us. We're gonna do
How do you think you get out of the moat?
Tell him that we got a slushy machine
Go
coming.
up the hill.
And then if he says yes after that, we'll expedite and actually order one. Or just like
You want him
borrow
in
one.
office?
Yeah.
When
That's
do
a
we
little
get
tougher,
when do
guys.
we get some fucking Twins legends up in here? I
What
thought
do
you
you
had
want?
juice.
That was, I mean, when we did interviews during COVID, it was just all Twins, right? It was all ex-Plouffe.
Who do you
team.
want? My Rolodex is fat right now. I'm told you. I'm
You
a
know
walking
what?
W.
Some players in the league listen to the show. If they're still if you're a player that's still listening at this point in the show, come on. What the fuck?
Should we
Well,
do?
to be honest with you, James, we kind of went away from interviews, and people knew that.
Should we
But
do?
now-
I know.
Should we do players only voicemails? And we can just
Yes.
have anyone, like have Gibby call in, have Dozier call in, Tory Big Game Hunter. Only ex-Twins.
Yeah. No,
Ex-Twins voicemail episode.
I think I'm going to open up to the league.
Okay, that's fine. I've been talked out of it.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
long as we keep
Wow.
promoting Slush Puppy. 'cause
Wait,
that's how
oh my
Dad
gosh,
gets paid.
guys, we have to talk about it next time. But there was a trade the Mariners did pre-lockout.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll talk about.
Have
next
him call in.
episode.
You knew that Wednesday.
Have Adam Frazier call in with JP Crawford.
JP Crawford, by the way, a beautiful honeymoon. Like the guy he's ready for some ball. Shout out JP Crawford. I love that guy.
I have, I'm logistically thinking through the MLB voicemail episode, and we tweet out and say, oh, only MLB players allowed to
Right.
call in, and then BBD has to sort through that.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mention it and give people any ideas.
Yeah.
But
Why don't we get a second voicemail line, okay? That's secret. Trevor has it. And we say, any MLB players want to call in, DM Trev. He's got a secret number for you. Because if we did an MLB voicemail episode, I think people would like it, and I think we could actually
We
do
could
it.
get enough guys.
We would just need to give them a topic.
Yeah.
Like, who are you rooting for? MLB, MLBPA?
Mm.
what would those guys say? You think?
Let us know.
Man, David in the chat just said Burt Blyleven. I think that would be.
You guys know Bert.
Yes, yeah.
Be
Yeah,
a
he ate
Flames
Snickers out of
episode.
his own ass.
That's true.
It's true.
Oops. Oopsies.
Jake, why do you look like that? I just.
Jealousy does not look good on you, Trevor.
I'll work on
I'll
it.
be honest.
I'll work on it.
8:33. I think that's it, right?
That's all. We got the MLB voicemail up coming soon, so stay tuned for that. And Trev's going to work on it with a secret new voicemail line. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll do a draft or like some baseball movie. I want to do a baseball movie draft. Jake's never seen a movie in his life.
He's too dumb. That's what they say. Yeah.
When you say it like that.
Too dumb to watch movies is a special kind of dumb.
I watched Star Wars over the weekend.
Parts of it.
No.
Still want to. Never mind.
What was that, Trev? Say what you want to say. Say what you
I
want to
still want
say.
to do our. I remember we were going to profile the owners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each and every ownership group. That one got shut down pretty quick.
Yeah.
Rise
Still
of
be fun.
Skywalker.
Still be fun to do.
Good watch. Don't crack that jaw again.
Got
I
it.
did it again.
I got it. All right. That's it. That's the end of the episode. If you're an MLB player,
I look
reach out
good,
to Trev for our secret new voicemail line that you can call in on.
Should I start turning my face this way? I feel like I look good that way.
No. Do the other way. Do the other way. Do the other way.
Oh, it's better the other way.
But your eyes, like, look. Now do the other way. Jake sucks. Wow. Trev with the hat swipe. Big time.